Know the names? Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Toots, Dennis Brown. But here's the twist. Most of the magic you feel in those records, the little skanks, licks, and lines that give you goosebumps, came from guitarists whose names never made the big posters. Reggae didn't grow in a vacuum. It came out of tiny studios in Kingston, crowded with musicians hustling from session to session. Many of these guitarists were session killers. Paid a flat fee, no headline, no photo on the sleeve. Some built the ska and rocksteady blueprint, others carried roots reggae into the 70s, or backed legends like Marley, Tosh, and Toots on stage and on vinyl. But because reggae is often seen as singer-first music, their names stayed in the small print. That's why, in this video, we're counting down 12 underrated guitarists in reggae history. Hidden legends every real reggae head should know. Dwight "Brother D" Pinkney's guitar feels like Sunday afternoon in Kingston. Rootsy, relaxed, but razor sharp when it needs to be. Picture a small yard party. Zinc fence shaking with bass, ladies dancing by the speaker boxes, and Pinkney's guitar dropping sweet bubbling lines on top. He came up in the mid-60s with the Sharks, backing the Wailers at Studio One on early tunes like Put It On, and working behind voices like Ken Booth and the Gay Lads. Later, he co-founded Zap Pow. Co-writing their anthem This Is Reggae Music, then anchored the Mighty Roots Radix Band in the early 80s, playing on albums for Culture, Gregory Isaacs, Israel Vibration, Yellow Man, and more. Pinkney wrote the classic How Could I Live in the late 60s, a tune so good it's been resung by everyone from the Heptones to Dennis Brown. Why he's underrated? Ask a serious collector and they know his name. But outside the reggae world, most fans can't tell you who played those tasteful lines on so many Roots Radix classics. For real reggae heads, Dwight Pinkney is a quiet cornerstone of the sound.
A legal Jamaican, oh Lord, I am no.
Tony Chinn's guitar is that mid-70s Flyers sound, a choppy, hypnotic rhythm that makes your head nod before the bass even drops. Imagine a downtown Kingston dance, dust rising in the floodlights as his guitar chops cut through a wall of speakers.
He started to get rough, going through my stuff.
Starting on drums, he switched to guitar and teamed up with bassist George "Fully" Fullwood to form the Rhythm Raiders, which evolved into Soul Syndicate, one of the most important studio backing bands in 70s reggae.
Illegal alien, I am a lead.
Soul Syndicate powered countless sides for producers like Bunny Lee, Keith Hudson, and Niney, with Chinn's guitar helping define that late rockers, early roots feel. Tony later moved to the U.S., playing in Big Mountain and other bands, carrying that classic Jamaican rhythm guitar into American reggae.
Illegal Jamaican, oh Lord.
Why he's underrated? You've heard his style on a lot of records without ever reading his name on the front. He's one of the architects of modern reggae rhythm guitar, but still a secret to most casual listeners. Hux Brown's tone feels like warm evening air. Single note stabs, little melodies, never in the way, always exactly where they need to be. Picture him in a tiny Kingston studio. Cigarette smoke in the control room, tape rolling, and his guitar stitching the rhythm together. Starting at Studio One, then moving to Treasure Isle in the late 60s, Hux played on rocksteady and early reggae landmarks like Alton Ellis's Girl I've Got a Date, Baba Boom by the Jamaicans, and Lester Sterling's Bangarang, a record some people call the first true reggae single. He also played on Rivers of Babylon by the Melodians and Jimmy Cliff's The Harder They Come, and even Paul Simon's Mother and Child Reunion. In the 70s, he joined Toots and the Maytals on tour, holding down guitar for the band for decades as they carried reggae to stages worldwide. Why he's underrated? His riffs are baked into reggae history. from early rocksteady to global crossover hits. But while singers became icons, Hux stayed one of those you have to read the small print names, a true studio assassin. Before one-drop roots, there was a moment when ska slowed down, bass lines got deeper, and a sharp percussive guitar took center stage. That's where Lynn Taitt lives. Born in Trinidad and later settling in Jamaica, Taitt became a rocksteady pioneer. His group, Lynn Taitt and the Jets, played on hundreds of sessions, including Hopeton Lewis's Take It Easy, often cited as one of the first rocksteady hits. His bright, clipped guitar style helped define how rocksteady guitar should sound, working with producers like Bunny Lee, Duke Reed, and Coxsone Dodd. Some writers credit Lynn Taitt with creating the very first rocksteady bass line on Take It Easy, that change in feel that opened the door for reggae to be born. Why he's underrated. Inside reggae circles, he's respected, but outside that small world, very few people know the name of the man who helped bridge ska, rocksteady, and early reggae. For crate diggers, Lynn Taitt is a holy grail guitarist. Mikey Chung's guitar is like a Swiss Army knife. Roots, rock, dub textures, even pop and funk colors when needed. Imagine him on stage behind Peter Tosh. Dreadlocks swaying, fingers gliding from heavy skanks to bluesy licks in the same song. Starting in bands like Mighty Mystics, Generation Gap, and the Now Generation Band, Chung became one of the most versatile studio and touring players in Jamaica. He worked with Jacob Miller and Inner Circle, joined Word, Sound, and Power to back Peter Tosh on albums like Mystic Man and Bush Doctor, and later played for Black Uhuru, Grace Jones, the Compass Point Crew, and even international acts like the Rolling Stones. Mikey wasn't just a guitarist, he arranged, produced, and played keys and percussion too, making him one of the hidden architects behind late 70s and 80s reggae's polished sound. Why he's underrated? He was everywhere, but never the headline. Because he served the song instead of chasing the spotlight, his name flies under the radar. Yet his fingerprints are all over classic albums. And what we have achieved, poverty in Bo-Pee's guitar feels like pure stage energy, the kind of player who can make a festival crowd start skanking with just one lick. A sought-after touring and studio guitarist, Winston Bo-Pee Bowen, worked with bands like Firehouse Crew, We the People Band, and the 809 Band, backing a long list of Jamaican artists on stage and in the studio. Tributes from fellow musicians and journalists describe him as a master guitarist whose sunny personality matched his bright tone. Never born to suffer. No. Even though Bo-Pee did a lot of support work, he also released his own instrumental tracks, showing off a melodic, singing lead style that many fans never realized was his. Soon Jah will change his insanity. Why he's underrated? Because he spent his life lifting up other people's shows, his own name rarely got pushed to the front. Ask a live music head in Jamaica, and they'll tell you, Bo-Pee was one of those secret weapons every band wanted.
All right, C-Trends fam, let's keep it real. We're pouring our hearts into bringing you the best celebrity news and music deep dives. But check it. A massive 98% of you aren't subscribed yet. Subscribing is how you can truly support us, helping us grow and create even better content. If you're vibing with what we do, take a sec to hit that subscribe button. It's free and makes a huge difference. Plus, ring that notification bell so you never miss out. Let's flip that 98% and build this C-Trends family together. Your support is everything.
And shall certainly receive
Close your eyes and think of Toots and the Maytals tearing down a stage, horns blazing, Toots preaching, crowd singing every word. That steady, soulful guitar in the middle of the storm? Many times that was Radcliffe Dougie Bryan. A longtime Maytals guitarist, Bryan played on many of their hits, as well as tracks for artists like Gregory Isaacs and The Sensations. Musicians describe him as a rock-solid player, always in the pocket, giving the band a tough but soulful backbone. Even into his later years, Dougie was still gigging and recording, earning tributes from fellow musicians and cultural institutions when he passed in 2025 at age 78. Why he's underrated? People know Toots. They sing the hooks. But most never ask who kept that band tight night after night. Dougie Bryan is the definition of an unsung band hero. Cat Coore's guitar sits at the crossroads of roots reggae, soul, and a little rock theater. Think of a big festival. Third World on stage, Now That We Found Love, or Try Jah Love lifting the whole crowd, and Cat's guitar and cello weaving melody lines through the mix. Born in Kingston, Cat co-founded Third World in the early 70s and has been their guitarist and cellist for around 50 years. Across multiple Grammy-nominated albums and global tours, his playing helped shape a more crossover world music face of reggae, mixing roots rhythms with R&B, funk, and rock influences. He doesn't just play guitar. His cello solos on stage became a signature moment in many Third World live shows, showing how far reggae instrumentation could stretch. Why he's underrated? Third World as a band gets love, but individual members don't always get credit for their musicianship. Cat Coore is a true reggae guitar stylist, yet his name still isn't mentioned enough when people talk about great Caribbean guitar players. If reggae had a guitar godfather, Ernest Ranglin would be right at the top. His sound is like mento, jazz and ska melting together. Fluid lines over deep island rhythms. Starting as a young session player, Ranglin worked for labels like Federal and Studio One, playing on early hits like Theophilus Beckford's Easy Snapping and arranging Millie Small's My Boy Lollipop, a tune that helped launch Jamaican music onto the world stage. He also contributed to foundational ska and rocksteady recordings and later toured with Jimmy Cliff, blending jazz chops with reggae feel on albums and live shows. Ranglin didn't stop at reggae. He cut respected jazz records and was honored by Jamaica with national awards for his contribution to music. Why he's underrated? Among musicians, he's worshipped. But many casual fans still don't know the name behind so many guitar parts that join jazz phrasing with Jamaican rhythm. He's a legend who still feels hidden outside specialist circles. Al Anderson's lead guitar gave roots reggae a rock-edge bite without losing the groove. Picture the Natty Dread era of Bob Marley. Organ shuffle, deep bass, and then that soaring guitar line cutting in. That's Al. An American guitarist who linked up with Island Records, he was invited to play on Bob Marley and the Wailers' Natty Dread sessions, laying lead parts on songs like Crazy Bald Head and the Live album. He later joined Word, Sound and Power to back Peter Tosh on Legalize It and Equal Rights, then returned to Marley's camp for albums like Survival and Uprising, before continuing the legacy with the Wailers Band and later co-founding the original Wailers. Al once had both Traffic and Bob Marley in his orbit, but that call from Marley and Chris Blackwell changed his life and reggae history. Why he's underrated. Fans scream for the solos live, but many don't know who's actually playing them. In the global guitar conversation, Al Anderson doesn't get mentioned nearly enough for his role in shaping the live and studio sound of classic Wailers music. Junior Marvin's guitar is fire and fluidity, a mix of blues phrasing and deep one-drop synths. Imagine the Exodus album, smooth but urgent with leads that cry and celebrate at the same time. Born in Jamaica and raised in the UK, Junior played rock and blues, jamming with heavy names before reggae called him home. In 1977, he was invited to join Bob Marley and the Wailers, making his debut on Exodus, which Time magazine later called Album of the Century. He remained lead guitarist and key musical contributor on all Marley studio albums until Bob's passing, and later kept the flame alive with the Wailers Band, the original Wailers, and the legendary Wailers.
You are the teacher. Yes, the teacher.
On Valentine's Day 1977, Junior had interest from both Stevie Wonder and Bob Marley's camp, and he chose Marley, changing the sound of roots guitar forever.
You are the teacher. Yes, the teacher.
Why he's underrated. People know the solos, but not always the man. Junior Marvin is one of the most important lead guitar voices in reggae, yet his name still doesn't carry the same weight as rock guitar heroes in the wider music story. At number 1, we have the man many call the most recorded guitarist in reggae history, Earl Chinna Smith. Bingistra movement. His sound is deep roots, earthy, spiritual, always in the pocket. Imagine a late-night session at Channel 1, drums and bass locked, Chinna's guitar rolling out skanks, licks and fills that feel like they've always been there. Starting as a youth around Bunny Lee's sound system, he joined the Soul Syndicate Band, became part of the Aggravators, worked with Lee Scratch Perry's Upsetters, and eventually joined Bob Marley and the Wailers, playing on albums like Rastaman Vibration, Exodus, Survival and Uprising, plus live shows like the One Love Peace Concert. Beyond Marley, he recorded with Dennis Brown, Bunny Wailer, Jacob Miller, Gregory Isaacs, Augustus Pablo, the Mighty Diamonds, and countless others, appearing on hundreds of albums. He also founded the High Times label and band, backed poet Muta Baruka, and later started the Inna the Yard series. Recording roots veterans live and raw in his yard in St. Andrew. Some writers compare Chinna to guitar icons in other genres. If Jimi Hendrix is rock's face and George Benson is smooth jazz, then Chinna Smith is the standard by which roots reggae guitar is judged. Why he's underrated. Within reggae, he's a legend. But step outside that circle, and most music fans still don't know his name, even though they've heard him over and over. For true reggae lovers, Chinna is the ultimate hidden hero of the guitar.